Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the art of Joe Bennett for Alpha Core number 1. So, for anyone that's been following the channel, I've been following Eric July, Young Ripper, on YouTube for a while, and when he did say that he was going to create his own universe and actually put his money where his mouth was, and she started writing comics, I was excited, and I think a lot of people online were excited as well to see where he was going to go with things. And I think, although we've had to wait, and there's been lots of, as much as I say delays, I think it's just the fact that you've got essentially one person writing, editing, creating an entire business around everything to do with the comics. There are certain delays that go with it. And as frustrating that is for us as readers, I can completely understand what he's doing and why he's doing it. So when we got to Alpha Core, it was the first book that was written by someone other than Eric July. And the visuals were just slightly different as well. And again, you know, Mr. July, Eric, has brought on a couple of people from the industry who have got lots of experience. And it seems like he's given them a certain amount of freedom to kind of tell the stories that they really want to tell. So when they released the idea that they were going to do the art of Alpha Core, I was really interested in it because I thought, okay, I'd like to see where they're coming up with these ideas from. How much freedom does Mr. July give them? What are the constraints? You know, this is essentially, as to put it in terms that a lot of comic people may understand, it's his sandbox. At what point are they allowed to mess it up a little bit? So it's really interesting to read this through. There's not much writing within this. It's a lot of the inks and the pencils, which is incredibly fascinating to see, I have to admit. There's a little bit of note-taking here and there. But I just wanted to kind of discuss that. And first of all, as goes with everything with the Ripperverse comics, it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I love the shiny book. It's a wraparound, right, shiny as well, which I think is absolutely fantastic. The problem with it for me is it really does show up the finger marks too easily, and I hate that. I really do hate that. But absolutely stunning, absolutely amazing presentation. And again, this is not the kind of thing that you're getting a 20-page book and they're going, yep, thanks for your money, see you later. This is some really high quality paper, and it's a lot of high quality stuff that's in there. And as I have said on numerous times within this channel, I am more than happy to pay a premium price for a premium product. And at the moment, I really do think the Ripperverse is probably one of the best products out there. Everything they're doing at the moment is of an incredibly high quality, whether that be the writing, the artwork, the paper itself. Everything is phenomenal, and I don't want to say I cannot fault them, because I do have some issues with this, but that everything is being kept at such a consistently high level. I think what they're doing is fantastic, and I'm really looking forward to the next book, which is going to be, I think it's Yara, written by the Saskia sisters. I'm really excited about that one. Really excited, and I think it's shown, but I believe it's probably the highest. I think it's the highest grossing book in terms of profits within the Ripperverse so far. Now, we only had 1, 2, ISOM 1 and 2, and then Alpha Core, but there's a lot of interesting things to come. So so yeah, let's dive into this. As I said, it's some incredible pencils and inks, and I'm not going to show you absolutely everything, because if you've read Alpha Core, if you haven't read Alpha Core, read it. It's a lot of fun. It does go through quite a lot of the art, and I think what makes some really interesting pages is actually the differences between, like, the pencils on one side and the inks on the other, and how you see the shading really come out of it. But the thing that I find very interesting is the note-taking within it, and then it talks about some of the homages to certain panels or some of the references. and it is very much focused on Alpha Core itself, or Alpha Core number 1. Everything is taken from that book. Now, if I'm putting together the art of something, as good it's to see the pencils, the inks, the everything like that. If you're going to be referencing something, or if you're going to be saying this is an homage to something, if you can get the rights to use certain images, I think do so, because it's really interesting to see the comparisons between what you're saying is the original compared to what you're homaging. So I think there was a slight lack with that, and I think overall this would have benefited from, like I say, I mean, some of them are incredible. I do think overall it would have benefited from having those as reference points, because I think it's really interesting to see where Joe Bennett's mind is in regards to this issue. You know, what is he seeing as the reference points? It makes reference to Superman. It makes reference to I think it's Incredible Hulk. You know, there's a number of things within comics lore that they're saying he's made reference to this and this and this and this, which is interesting to see. It's interesting to hear and see. But for someone that's coming completely new to the book, or even for someone like myself that doesn't know absolutely everything there is to know about comics, to have those reference points of what they're saying, this is what is being referenced, I think would be a fantastic opportunity. Like I said, it really does depend upon the copyright, whether they're able to get those image rights. But it would have made a more well-rounded book for me, to be completely honest. But overall, there's some incredible things written, drawn within here, and it does showcase how much talent Joe Bennett really does have. And there are things that are pointed out here in regards to, let's take like a landscape shot, where I was so focused on the story while I was reading through it that I was focused on one certain thing, but then seeing the pencils and the arts, and I'm not even too sure who's narrating it, to be completely honest with you. It could be Fabio Jansen. He's pointing out things that sort of background details, and saying that even though you're very much focused on the story, I'm focused on this one particular thing. If you look at the peripheries, everything is within focus, or everything is actually pulling you towards the main focal point. But everything has a certain amount of detail in it, to the point where even windows are just perfectly sort of reflective. It's little things like that I didn't see on an initial read through, but going through the art book, or the artwork of, it's really opened my eyes. And then I went through and read Alpha Core again, and I was able to pick out all of these amazing details. So I think having this artwork book is definitely something that's that is worthwhile. And unlike Marvel and DC, where at certain times things like this may just seem like a cash grab, this doesn't feel like a cash grab for me, which I have to admit might be slightly strange for me to say, because it is essentially a startup company. They're only a couple of issues in to the Ripperverse, and what could they possibly show? But because it's a startup company, because they're doing something completely new, because Eric July's been able to bring on some pretty heavy hitters when it comes to the comic book industry, it's fantastic to see their reference points throughout their careers and how they're putting that into the Ripperverse universe. And it's just a fantastic read. It really is. And like I said, it makes me really excited to see what happens in the future. And I really do hope that Joe Bennett is going to be working on Alpha Core 2. I'd be interested to see what his takes are on issue 2, how he's going to develop the story even more so. And with all of these little things that have been picked out in this particular artwork book, I'll be looking for those kind of things within issue 2 as well. So as a sort of an avid comic book reader myself, who knows a fair amount about comic book lore, the fact that I've been able to pick out a lot of things from this, and it's increased my appreciation for the source material itself. I think that in itself is an incredible thing. And I have to admit, for anyone that is interested in the Ripperverse. So if anyone has read ISOM or Alpha Core, I do suggest to get yourself a copy of this, because there's some incredible insights. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys have read Alpha Core, please let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, because it really does help me out. And I'll see you all in the next video.